How's about now? Can you hear me now, my darlings? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Give me a second. Can you hear me? Okay, can you hear me now? Hey, I'm actually on my phone because the whole thing is wonky. Good show. Well, you know what? We're going to have a live just like this, like the green screen. Well, that's what it is. Let me turn this light down because I feel like I'm. Where were you on the night of the 24th? Right? Yay! Hello. I'm not giving up. I want to show you guys something. Hold on. I'm going to take you with me. Here we go. Isn't this? I should do this more often. I feel like we're going on a haunting. Don't you? Give me a second. Hold on. Look at this. It's a coming down. Yeah, buddy. And I think the sound. I'm sorry. I think the internet kind of went bizarre. Hi, my darling. This is new. This is new for me. This is new. I've never done this before. So you know what? First time for everything, right? First time for everything. Yeah, thank you so much. Well, you know, I went off to sneeze. I came back. Look, my hair's all blown. I came back. I went off to sneeze. And you know what's so funny? I'm sitting here talking, telling my story. And then I see everybody in the chat going, where's Zelda? Where could she be? Maybe she went to Dairy Queen. And I'm thinking, something ain't right. Something's not right. Something's not right. So give me a second. Can I send the rain to your area? Loving this new look on the stream. I should do this. What do you think? Should I do this more often? I should probably just go live like this more often. What do you think? Except I don't have anything to hold my phone. Oh. And I wanted to show you, and I didn't get a chance, that sweet. Let me see here. I don't want to get the name wrong. Madeline sent me a beautiful phone cover, and I just love it. So, and that's from the Amazon store from my wish list. So, I think I want to do this more often. Listen, let's talk a minute. I'm about sick of StreamYard. Seriously. And if you have a body function, it goes out. Then something doesn't work one day, and then another day something works, and then another day. So I'm about ready. And you know what? This is cool. I need to get used to this. Except Sam, there goes my computer. Except Sam, look at this thing. She wants to get into the act. Hello. She needs to get in there. Is there an alternate to stream it? There is. It's called Restream. And I've used that before. And I can tell you this, my darling, it's about as bad. It's about as bad. Seriously, it's about as bad. And my computer is flickering on and off. I don't know what's going on. Let me see. Sam Miami, that's who this little chicken is. Let me see if I'm actually, it says. Can you see me on Can you see me now? Or do I have to just take this off? You can see me now? Okay. Okay. Let's turn this, let's get situated. And let me get out of this. Sammy, that's enough, Angel. You can hear. Okay, good. Well, you know what? We know that in a pinch, right? Right? Okay. Give me a second. Let me get out of this. I think I'm out of it. Okay. I think it's gone. All right. Yeah, let me fix things. Let me fix it. Because things were looking a little wonky. Things were looking a little. Let me fix it. Let me fix it. We're coming to the rescue here. Oops. There we go. Can you hear me now? Listen, we don't give up. Like if you know me, we do not give up. I just don't give up. Hello, and each. Well, that was exciting, wasn't it? I am soaked on one side, but I'm so glad we're here. So there you are. Okay, better. Good. But you know what? I'm not going to leave you. Give me a second. I just want to make sure that all is right as rain. Okay. The show must go on. That's right. The show must go on. I'm not going to leave you. All right. So now let me start way back from the troglodytes. And I've got to put this little mama down because I'm going to sneeze. Oh, my goodness. Pardon me. I hated to go off screen again because you know what that's what did it last time. Hello, my darlings. Okay, can we start over? Cheers. Cheers. We don't have any quit. But you know what happened? We know now we can take the show on the road. I love it. We know we can take the show on the road. And I now know how to go live on my phone. And YouTube encourages you to do that. But again, you know, here I am. Okay, my darlings, let's do this. Let's start over. Welcome to Help. I'm Haunted, and I'm going to start over. And that's okay, darling. I know everybody was emailing me. Listen, imagine, because I love what all of you say. So if I watch the chat during a story, I notice when I rewatch things that I'm sitting here going like this, watching you guys talk, and I'm not talking, and I get distracted because I want to sit here and talk to you. That's the way it is. Oh, and Mrs. Maria's here. Hello and welcome. You missed the excitement, Mrs. Marie, because we have a storm going on here, and StreamYard and internet went out, and worried it was with a UFO. Well, speaking of which, before anything more, I want to say, if you are watching Boston Via or DJ, bless you for inviting me to come in on your panel last night. It was fun. They had John Tedesco in there, who is a big UFO researcher, he and his brother from New York, New Jersey, all these. Oh, I loved it. But I'll tell you, it was a very big learning curve. But here's the fun part, and they're UFO researchers. Here's the fun part. He says he is interested in the paranormal and that he will come on this show. And I'm going to ask him, if you're watching, John, I'm going to I got see, hello. Before I go on, for those of you coming in, I did get all of your emails for the prizes. I've been so covered up, and my apologies. If Sam could do them, I would hire her and say, here you go. But I will have those out for you tomorrow. So thank you for your patience, my darlings. Okay, back to John from Calling All Beings. He's interested in coming on this show. What an honor. This man testifies on the Hill. That means in front of Congress about UFOs. Amazing. And I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to ask him if he would be interested in collaborating and building a spirit box. And you know why? It would be exclusive for us. And the way he talked about it, when they are near UFOs, the batteries drain, things go wrong. Same here. Same here. So would that not be a gas? All right. So Cab invited me, Calling All Beings, invited me into their stream. And it was so fun. It was so fun. Spirit boxes are all about frequencies. The ones that we use here, that I use, are basic at best, based on binary system, ones and zeros. That's it. You can actually, you know, the old-timey radios where they have the dial? You can actually use that. I've been trying to find the right transistor radio because it takes a certain frequency, pardon me, and well, I didn't go on camera because I was eating a hamburger and fries. And I didn't have any makeup on, and I had a ball cap on. And they're like, here's the link, come on in. I'm like, no camera, no camera. you know. But that's one of the things. In fact, I'm going to write that down so I don't forget. I need to order a transistor, but I need to find one that I like. See, that would be excellent. Okay, let me write this down. Mommy's girl. She's the one for me. No transistor radios at Radio Shack, right? Oh my gosh, I even missed Circuit City. Please. I want to bring this on. That was one of my little things that I'm going to do. During more of our Halloween phase, is bring the transistor radio. Now, sometimes it drives me crazy because you're picking up all these frequencies and you're going to hear and then you may pick up a word. I want to see if I can take it one step forward. I love it. So anyway, he has built research equipment, lasers that point up in the sky, all kinds of great things. So I didn't get a chance to ask him last night before the end of the stream, but I'm going to ask him,
What do you say? I know you're busy, but what do you say? Should we try to build? Because after all, I don't know if you know this, Thomas Edison built the first spirit box. In fact, it was so good, and Tesla had one, Nikola Tesla, that somewhere here on the, pardon me, on the tube, there is a recording of their first spirit box, and you could hear people talking. And hello, that's the turn of the last century when there was no technology like we have right now. So there was nothing that you could mess with or manipulate, and you could hear people talking. It kind of flipped me out a little bit because it's a better equipment than what we have now. In fact, I'm going to say this. The best equipment that I have ever used in my life, but Harry Houdini hated psychics. But the best equipment that I'd ever used in my life, and if I can still find one, an older one, not the new ones, Fisher Price cassette recorder. The child Fisher Price cassette recorder. I would take my little Fisher Price cassette recorder and go out to these places and pick up stuff. When these other guys had these big recording devices and everything, pooey. Listen, back to basics. That's the way that I am. Back to basics. And you get to record it. Now, it's been years. Those cassettes are lost, but I've had recordings of people saying, "Who are you? Why?" That just, and sometimes you just kind of get, yeah, I thought about trying the Goodwill, but you're kind of asking for it. You never know. So that is that's a good idea. So I'm going to be going on a little scavenger hunt here soon and trying to find these things because I'm bringing all you now. Hello. Now that I know I can take you on the road with me and go live. Hello. The others, I remember that, and that bothered me because I can just imagine. Hello there, Tilly 444. Hi there, my darling, from the UK, Wales. Hello, welcome to the hen party, because that's about what this is. Welcome, welcome, my darling. eBay will have, okay, I'm on the hunt. I'm on the hunt. And before I forget, I'm going to put, somebody just asked me for it. There's my little to-do. Thank you very much. Okay. And hello to all who have entered. Let's start over. The Sixth Sense. That was a good one. Okay. Thank you, my darlings. You know what I need to do? I need to put some things. I've got my Amazon wish list. I'm going to go on there in the next couple of days, and I'm going to see if there's some things. If you guys want to participate, thank you so much, my darlings, because I love each and every one. Listen, I'm all about it. I'm all about it. And now, see, when you lost me there for a few minutes, it's a good opportunity to know you got a backup. And you know what that did? Because I don't want to go live on YouTube on my phone. But, my darlings, oh, hold on a minute. I don't have my filter on. Hello. I need to put my filter on because any little thing helps. All right. So, Where did I? Okay. Now I know I can take you with me when we go places and go live. Okay. Well, I'm from Ohio, my darling. That sounds wonderful. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you. Thank you. Bless you. Putting it toward, look, this little girl wants down. I'm sitting here. Thank you, Sharon. I appreciate that. How lovely of you. But let me turn this off because I know I'm going to get a call. So, no, that's my phone going ding dong. A phone calling. So, anyway, now I know. You see, I learned a long time ago that when you have something like that, don't get mad, don't get even, don't get upset, because it pushed me. It pushed me to not leave you guys and go, oh, well, the weather is too wonky. I can't do it. Maybe I'll order DoorDash. Please. Okay. Okay, my darling. And I want to say this too. Welcome. Remember when I said I couldn't see us live? That's why. I actually started live. And I must have talked the whole time, and you guys didn't even hear a word that I said. Oh, man, the joke's on me. Because I kept thinking, I'm not seeing how many people are here. So True Oracle is here, and I want to welcome True Oracle. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Did you guys see the part where I was showing the gifts that have been sent to me? Did you see it? Put a 1 in the chat. See, Zelda, you can pick us up a phone and go into the kitchen when you need to go stir the crock pot. That might be an option one day. That might be an option. You didn't see. Oh my. Oh my. I went through. So you didn't. I sat here this whole time and talked to each and every one of you. Because I kept saying, I'm not seeing where I'm live. Hello. Yes, I got gifts from my darlings from my Amazon wish list. I'm going to show you because I have to share because they're wonderful. Wait a minute. Is this on? Hello? Hello? Okay. Dana from Nashville, Tennessee. Do you remember last week I showed you the sweet little white ghosts and my flipping hair? The sweet little white ghost this is the counterpart, the little black ghost in gold. So the white are in silver, the black are in gold. And thank you, Dana. I love them. I love them. Okay, more gifts. Remember when I said there was she also, check out this phone cover. Hello. I'm into phone covers. And look at this. Look at this. Listen, I just really think that because look at this. Hello. How cool is that? And here's another cool feature because I'm all about this. I'm all about the little ring. But look, that's magnetic. And so is this phone. And this thing is like, hello. And because, listen, I'm always sitting in the bed looking at the talkie ticks. And look, I see all of you here. So I love that. Okay. So that is from, give me a second. Oh gosh, I thought I called somebody. That is from Madeline. Madeline also sent this. Let me see. It's green. That's why we're having difficulty looking. But look at this little wallet. Hello. I love little wallets. Used to be in the old days, I would have this big honking wallet. Why? Love it. The phone cover was on my wish list in Amazon, and I'm going to go update it because y'all are just sending me stuff on there. Now, look what else, Madeline. Madeline just went, hello. Look at this. I love it. I love it. It is a journal. Hello. Thank you very much. And a little thank you card from the manufacturer. Love it. Love it. Thank you. Not only did she send me this one, because I go through journals like you don't, she sent me another one like I already have. And I'm so glad because I love this one. And I'm going to keep it wrapped so I can keep it nice. And listen, I've got journals all over. One is for card reading layouts. Another one is for content. And if you would see my iPad, I've got a program on there called Freeform. And you just write. It's an endless thing. You just keep writing. Right. Hello. So thank you if you are watching, Madeline and Dana, for your kind. Listen, that is just so kind. I love it. Thank you. Thank you. It's generous, kind, beautiful. So we're starting over 30 minutes. Hello. How are you, everyone? And I want to welcome, we've got our captain here, but you probably have seen her so far. Let me get here. We've added Patty McDaniel. Thank you. Patty has a wrench, and listen, she'll use it. So anyway, I love it. I love it. So let's start over. Here we go. Ready? We're starting over. Welcome to Help. I'm Haunted. Today is Thursday, August 21st of 2025. And I think my machine is haunted. Welcome. Love you. Mean it. And here we go. Thank you and welcome, everyone. I have so many stories that I want to tell you. And I just love it. Thank you so much. My cats are actually they're sitting over here to the side. They've just been real chill lately, which I'm so happy. And they're in watching cat TV. I can hear the little birds going. So I love it. So I want to thank you, each and every one. Thank you to True Oracle for being here. We're going to hear some scary stories. And I was just getting into the one. It was getting really good. And I kept thinking, why is everybody saying, where am I? She must be late. She must be going to Dairy Queen to get a cotton candy blizzard. Like I need it. All right, my darling. Friday here. So you are our future for sure. You look at that puppy. I love that. Are we going to make this a call-in show someday so we can tell our ghost stories? Yes. This is a limited series. We're going to go through probably until the first week of November. We're going to have we're going to have a lot of things that we're going to talk about it. So there you go. So thank you. Okay, here we are. Nearly 1 a.m. in the morning in UK. Thank you for the dedication in being here. Love it. Now, before I forget, I have to say this. There are new membership levels on True Oracle. They are for member-only videos, member-only manifestations, subliminal, and I have fixed it so there are no ads on those videos that are earmarked. And there's 2 additional levels, and when you level up, you get everything that you've had before and then some. Top level is the Oracle Vault. The next in line is the Oracle Circle. There's been a video put out already. I think many of you are enjoying it. We're doing some subliminal for fate and fortune for the manifestation side, because I want to see you manifest what you need to do. Let's talk about this house. This house, my darlings, is a concept, was a concept, is a concept of a home that I already know. From Ohio, from my early days, and you see that light up there? Well, that really isn't there. You see how this tree, and look at this house. Do you see how this tree goes up and then starts going? Well, that was actually what happened. There was a tree that came up and grew into the side of the house. That light had been on forever. So a young lady from the UK, I was, I think, late teens, 18, I think. She was 18. So we had some friends and we decided to go ghost hunting. Now, my darlings, ghost hunting back in those days, it was not called paranormal. We didn't even know that name. It was ghost hunting. And my grandparents were always one who would actually go out to these homes, scope them out. See, I guess they were like the local Warrens, okay? But my grandmother was this psychic chick, I'm telling you. She was something else. She told us not to go to this house. Do you think we listened? I thought I was a big shot because my grandparents, right? So we went, oh, Jane, I wish I could have asked you an explanation on my reading. Love you. I still don't understand, even with the video. I'll go back on YouTube. Okay. So, my darling, some of us, my friend, her name was Greer from the UK. We were the same age, and it was my first time having an experience with a lovely lady from across the pond. We were like peas and carrots. She lived in the apartment above my dad, and we were always together. It was wonderful. So, okay. So I'm getting distracted because I'm looking at the chat. All right. So I decided I wanted to go to this house. My grandmother told me not to go. Wish I would have listened. So it went down this long lane. Now, this was in Ohio, mid-region, early September. The corn was up, and it was said that if you drove down this particular lane toward this house, you could see that there would be like a lantern that was lit, that would float. That would float beside you. When we were looking for, we wanted to see it. We were looking for it. We didn't see anything. So we went down this road easy. Didn't tear it up, easy. We went down the road. We went through and we finally pulled up and we saw this. Now, this is my concept, the best I can do from memory and everything else, but I wanted to make sure that I put this there and had the tree in moving into the house. Now, we pull up and I said, oh my gosh, I think somebody's there in the house. And they said, the rest of, no. Okay. We go up. The guys decided that they wanted to go upstairs, or they wanted to go in first. And I was glad because, sometimes when you have so many people, if you run into something, it makes it just as hard as if you were by yourself in some regard. So remember the light. We're standing out. Let me see if I can point it this way. We're standing up in here. We're standing up in there. Makes me shudder to think. So we hear this commotion in the house. We just didn't know. Lots of banging and carrying on. And finally, the one whose name is Scott got to the top. He's looking out the window and he's going, and we're like, what's up there? And he's like, nothing. So he opens the window. A part of the window fell out, crashed on here. And so, that's what happens in old houses. So you've got to be careful of that amongst everything else. And we're hollering at him, where's the light coming from? And he's like, what light? I don't see a light. And he was serious. He was not joking. So one of the other guys said, I'm going up there because he's full of the beans. He didn't say beans, but So he goes up. We see kind of shadowy because it was not dark when we went there. It was semi like this. He gets up here into the room and we see him come behind Scott. And you could see he's looking around and he's like, I don't have anybody meowing here. There's nobody meowing. There's nobody. So anyway, they're all sleepy. You may hear the cat TV though, because there's little birds and stuff going on in the other room, because this picks it up pretty good. So he goes up there. His name's Brian. So Brian and Scott are up there, and Brian's looking at us and he's like, seriously, there is no light here. We're standing down here looking. I was mesmerized, and I'm thinking, what is going on? My darlings, it was within a flash. Scott and Brian were up there. The window was a little bigger, and you could see a shadow come behind them. And I'm not kidding. We girls, and there was another guy there whose name was Brian as well. Hello, all these Brians. And my gosh, it was horrible. We were screaming, turn around. There's somebody there. Because the one thing I want you to know, my darlings, is when you go into places like this, don't go alone, because many times paranormal investigators will announce where they're going ahead of time if it is not a controlled environment, like if there's not a manager or somebody. And many times there have been problems, unalivings, issues, people getting hurt because they think they're going to show up. They either want to join in or they want to scare somebody. So we thought it was someone else at first. So the Brian that was with us takes off running. Now, I know it's weird because, hello, it must have been a Ohio thing. And these guys are athletes. I mean, football players, track, they're athletes. So it's not like, they're slunky or this fellow, Brian, we used to call him Taco because Taco Bell just came to our area. And of course, we didn't have cell phones. So anytime we would call Brian to say, Brian, what are you doing? His mother would say, oh, he's down at Taco Bell. And back then they had a limited menu, so there wasn't that much and that he loved it so much, we just called him Taco. So that's what I'm going to call him. All right. So Taco goes racing up. You could hear him. He's yelling, be careful, there's somebody behind. And all of a sudden, we see them disappear. All of them. It was silence. And it's us girls standing down here. I'm not kidding. I'm like, I turned to Greer because I didn't cuss, and I said, I am about to defecate in biblical proportion. Where did they go? What do we do? And now, my darlings, you didn't have cell phones back then. This was like 150 years ago when I was a teenager. Driving away was not an option because we were not going to leave these guys, 3 men, young men, in this house. And so Greer says, I'll go. Now, listen, Greer didn't have a driver's license. She didn't, and I had my dad's car. So I'm like, you can't drive away. And she was not, she was just one of these friends that would just hang out. She was wonderful. She didn't want to do this, really. She just wanted to be there. Yeah, and defecating in proverbial biblical proportion is what I was doing because I'm thinking, oh, isn't this wonderful? I'm here at my dad's car. I have a girl from a different country and 3 boys are missing and everybody else is having a breakdown. And I'm going to be grounded for the rest of my life. There goes my date, Saturday night, I could think of. I was dating somebody in football. So we're standing there for a minute. We're arguing. What do we do? What do we do? What's going on? What's going on? It was so weird because we were all looking at them, and right before our eyes, it was a literal disappearance. It was like someone just went like this, and they were gone. So finally, we hear them yelling, screaming. And the tears with us because we just didn't know what to do. We were so concerned and worried. And they came from out behind the back of this house. We girls, we ran around the house. There was a girl with us by the name of Melody. We called her Mel. Mel was she was catatonic. She was in shock. She was there. She couldn't speak. So you can imagine the horror that we were feeling. We run around the back of the house, and there was absolutely no entrance, nothing. Nothing. Not a storm cellar, not a window they could have crawled out of. Because as you see, this was built on a crawl space. So they would have had to go out a window and drop down. There was nothing. They were in shock. And we said, we've got to get out of here. We've got to get out of here. So you can bet I get behind the wheel and I'm heading down this road because it's now like the sun's gone down. And all that's going through my head is like drive. And I'm holding on to dear life because I'm thinking, oh my heck, I've got my dad's car and he's going to kill. You know, I mean, that's what I'm thinking. And all this stuff going on is what is our parents going to do? My darlings, all of a sudden, on the passenger side, this lantern comes up and just does a, just right beside us and goes right off into the cornfield. I don't know what it was. Nobody does know what it is. I've never driven so fast. Even back then, my friends would say, Zelda, you drive like a grandma. Because I would always have my dad's car. I knew what I would get if I wrecked it. I'm putting the hammer down. And they're like, oh my gosh, slow down. I ain't slowing down till we get to Mansfield. I'm not slowing down. And I'm like, cops, pick us up. And there was nobody around. Nobody. There was no one. We were so scared. So in paranormal fashion, in Scooby-Doo Mystery Machine fashion, what do? On the way home, we decided to stop at Stan's. What was Stan's? Stan's was just a little old beat up restaurant that was 24 hours a day that you could go in, and they had the little jukebox on the wall by the booth, and you put the quarter in and you could get 3 songs for a quarter. And we put, so what do we have to do in Scooby-Doo fashion? Before we went home, we stopped in for some coffee and pie. And when I think about this now, I have to laugh at myself. And look, if you're ever with me in the midst of Muckmeyer mayhem, totally alert, make sure there's a place that we can stop and have pie and coffee so we can calm down before we go. So, my darling, so we're sitting there. Wasn't too many people in there. We're sitting there. And finally, Taco breaks down. And the first thing I said was, I'm sorry. Would you have rather gone to Taco Bell? I mean, I was serious. I just didn't even think, right? Hello, Zelda. I'm like, I'm sorry. Would you have rather gone to Taco Bell? I'm sorry, Taco. And he looked at me like I was completely daft. And he said, no, we disappeared for an eternity. And he was serious. Taco was sitting across from me. The tears started to come. Scott, Brian, they were not the same. From what they said is when they got up there, Taco felt a hand on his shoulder and pulled him. And he said it was with such a force that he felt his feet fly up from underneath him and pulled him down. And Brian and Scott went with him. They all went with him. They were in a place, and he said they were not alone. They were there with other people, and they didn't know who it was. It was like this was missing people. It was like a portal that they went through. And I said, you're going to tell me that you didn't see that light in the window? They said, no. You get up there, and there was nothing. You could not see anything except we saw you guys down by the gate post. I've always wondered about that. Was that another dimension? Was that another something or other? Was that just, and poor Taco. I mean, I think the last time I saw him was at a high school reunion, and that was in the early 2000s. And when we saw each other, he just stood there. It was like, didn't want to, no, did not even want to remember. They said this was the scariest place and the scariest existence. And with the other people there, he said they couldn't talk. They tried to communicate. They tried to say, who are you? And he said they were dressed in all types of periods of clothing. And I said, what brought you back? I mean, think about this. What brought you back? And he said the same hand that pulled them down pulled them out. It felt like a same. And I said, that's got to be a divine hand. And he said it pulled them out. And he said they landed in the backyard because they were upstairs. Look at this. 1, 2, 3. It was like 3 floors. And they landed. Now, my grandmother told me not to go to this house. Guess who didn't listen? And I would never have recovered if, well, we would have been probably held responsible for missing. I mean, and I truly believe, my darlings, that sometimes missing people, and especially in these forests and everywhere else, especially in the Appalachian Mountains. But I believe that. And that's why we have to be careful. I mean, we didn't take the time. I mean, it was just run in. Now, we never had, pardon me, we never had that want and need to graffiti or do anything there. We just never, we would not destroy anything. That's my point. We would just like to go in and look around, be nosy, see where doors led, see where this led. But the lesson was, Scott went up first. You never go in by yourself. And then Brian followed, and then Taco. The house, when I went up for my high school reunion in the early 2000s, was still there, looking like this. And they said this whole side had like fallen in because this tree had grown into the side of the house. We don't know what it is. I mean, it's baffled me over the years. It just literally almost brings tears to my eyes because you think, my gosh, there are your friends and you hear them scream. These are young men now. Hello. You hear them screaming, and you see this dark shadow, because all we saw was from like waist up because of the window, and it was behind them. And we heard screaming, and then all of a sudden it was just deafening quiet, deafening quiet. And the sky kind of looked like this. It wasn't green. I added that. Hello. That's just me. But the house sat, don't know if it's still there. I'd love to find out, but I'd never go in it or around it. Pardon me. The entire part of this house. You know, sometimes, my darlings, I think that there are some bad entities that will lure you into places. I shudder to think what would have happened if I went in. What would have happened? When we came back, yeah, it would make a great movie, wouldn't it? When we came back, it took me a couple of days because having to recover and knowing, you know, after our pie stop, hello, and they always made fun of me because it was like the first thing I go in, because we knew the waitress at Stan's, we went to high school with her. Hello. Hey, Sarah, you got any peach pie? Zelda forevermore. So, I think what it is I just went through this mental block of not wanting to face it because I'm one of the, you know, that really makes in my thought process, it makes an excellent researcher. The more questions you ask, the better researcher you're going to get. And it was always the what ifs and the whys and how. And those are the things that you have to really think of when you're researching and doing research in paranormal. Now, I will tell you this, unless I know a property or I have been invited, you won't catch me doing this stuff. And of course, you don't see that many where I'm from anymore. You don't see that many abandoned homes. There were, I mean, you could, in farms around Ohio, yeah, you would see them. You don't see that many anymore. And I wouldn't do it anyhow. First of all, it's trespassing. Secondly, you don't know what you're going to run into. If anybody asks me to come out to a property nowadays, I have a little questionnaire that I have people fill out. A good paranormal researcher will do that, by the way, if you ever have one to come to your house. It is, are any of you on medication? Have any of you have been treated for any type of mental illness? Have any of you been this and that and that? And I mean, you have to go through those things because all of it can and is a factor many times, including medication. So, and well, I'll tell you what, a lot of the Amish people would buy them for little and nothing. And they would just renovate, go in and just gut them and renegade, hello, and renovate them. So finally, after the pie night, went home that night, I couldn't sleep because all I could see was that dark entity coming behind them with that red light. And I just racked my brain. I didn't tell my dad. I didn't tell my mom. My mom would have just fainted away. My mom was a good soul who just was tender. She was tender. I'm going to say it that way. She was tender. She wasn't an old soul like Zell, who just didn't care. she was just tender. I didn't even dare tell her. To this day, I don't even think she knew. But I went down to visit Grandma and Grandpa. Went for breakfast. A couple of days later, was a Saturday. And I said, hey, Grandma, do you remember when you told me not to go to that house? And she looked at me and she goes, oh, I knew you were going to go. Who do you think you're talking to? So Grandpa comes in and I said, Grandpa, you got to hear this. And they sat there just tentatively. And he told me, because he was from West Virginia, and he told me, he said, you know, I heard of a place like that in West Virginia when I was growing up. And we didn't go near it. Kids would go missing from the neighborhoods. Zelda, what in the absolute heck? The grandma with the Civil War ghost was my great grandmother. Was my grandma's mom. So my grandma Sass is the one that I told, the psychic. So we sat there, we talked about it. And of course, now listen, again, did not have, I mean, I'm in the middle of Ohio. I did card readings with my grandmother with a Gypsy Witch playing card deck. Never even heard of the tarot deck before. Shelter much, but had this thirst for paranormal. Back then, ghost hunting, ghosts, all of that stuff. I think he was from, I can't even remember, Beckley? I don't know. Huntington, is that West Virginia? So it was just surreal. Because back then you didn't know where to turn. So we went to our local library. There was nothing. What do? You go to the local library in a little burg like I grew up in and say, look, can you give us your ghost hunting section? They would have looked at me and called my pastor. No kidding. So we had no resources. The only resources I had was my grandparents and the great-grandparents that could tell us anything. And we did everything we could to try to research this. I don't even think that the guys told their parents. I just don't even, nobody really told anybody, because what do? You tell, and then all of a sudden you get committed because they think that you've gone off your Fruit Loops. Hello. So that right there, that gives this story right here gives me the chills, and it would make an excellent movie. I should write a book. I'm going to tell you, I would whip Stephen King's butt in writing books, because most of my scary stuff is true. So the thing now that I think about, because there were fields coming up to this house, and they were cornfields, someone had to plant them. And if I would have been using my noodle instead of worrying about peach pie at Stan's, I would have gone back the next day and gone to these farms and said, who, what, where, when? But I didn't, because I was scared to go back, and of course had Dad's car. So that is story number 1. Are you ready for another one? This other one happened not too long ago, about 4 or 5 years ago. Why are you're right, Cameron. Why are cornfields like the children of the corn? Right? I got to tell you a funny story. You're going to love this one. My sister's husband, so my brother-in-law, had family members where they had these two twins. And I'm telling you, anytime everybody knew that they were coming to visit, we would scat. I would keep the one time they tried to play with my son, and he was about 6 or 7, they tried holding his head into a bathtub and filling it with water. That's how mean they were. They were just mean. Seriously. So anytime that these kids would come to my sister's house, it was like lock up the cat, because they would try to hurt the cat. They would, they were all over. And their parents were the kind of just sit and go, oh, don't do that. You know the kind. Don't do that. Oh, that's so mean. Don't hurt that cat. Please pet the kitty and be nice. I'd be like, come here, kid. Come here. I got, which one's first? I got a little date out in the woodshed. And boy, and I would say that. And boy, talk about cause a riff, because, come after my son, no. No. So we were at my sister's. They drop in. It's like you hit the doorway and it's just like they scatter. We wanted to sit down to eat. My sister really didn't have enough. So it was kind of like, okay, well, we'll make it work. There's not really enough food, but we'll make it work. So we all took little dribbles and drabs. And I told my son, don't worry. We'll go out to Calhoun's, which is a really good restaurant. We'll go out to Calhoun's when we're down here. Don't worry. Just whatever. Have a little appetizer. These kids took my sister's, I say good for her. These kids took my sister's silverware and put them in the dryer and started the dryer. My sister was about ready to freak out. And of course, she just didn't want to say anything because it's, whatever. Well, comes Zelda. Hello. And I went out because it was making this horrible noise. It was just like, imagine silverware in a dryer. Clack, 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 clack. And we always wonder, what in the absolute heck? We finally, a matter of deduction, in just a few seconds, we stopped the dryer. Nobody wanted to say anything. And I went out, and her name was Debbie. If anyone, Debbie in the chat, please don't take this personally. But her name was Debbie. And I looked at her and I said, Debbie, I'm just going to tell you the truth. No one wants you or your kids around. You have reared the children of the corn. And no one wants them here. They are destructive little brats. So you either get it together or you pack and you vamoose. And you've got about 15 seconds to make a decision. And my sister is sitting there going, and they never came back again. That's how you handle stuff. Don't let your little demons in the house of someone else and let them run amok. How rude. That just, no. My kids never did that kind of thing. Never would do that kind of thing. No, never. Now, I have to say something, because last Saturday night something happened. and I had a troll come into my channel. And it has been a minute to try to get rid of that person. And that person, if you are watching, I'm going to send you just a little warning. Lay off. If you keep it up, my lawyer is prepared to contact YouTube. We know your IP address. We know where you're from. Lay off. And that is the kindest warning that you're going to get from me. I have blocked this person all week. And the problem was last Saturday night, remember we were talking about Hank Boynan, I'm riding in your car types, remember that? And I had the EVPs going. Well, between you and you've been in my chat long enough, you know when it's John and you know when it's not. I knew that it wasn't John. And besides, I want to sit in the garage. We were having a good time, and you know what? We are allowed to laugh. This person took it, Bonnie, this person took it so personal and told me that I had an ugly demeanor, that I didn't know what I was doing, and it went downhill from there. And how dare I disrespect John, because he was trying to contact us through EVP and I wasn't paying attention because I wanted to laugh and be silly and make fun of Hank Boynan and cause a contocoup and coabulate. They wrong. That's right. And so, you know what? I get it. Anybody who comes in here is a first time, and look, I've got 227 people read hello. Anybody who comes in here and they see for the first time, they don't know what's going on, and okay, I understand. They may believe that I'm disrespectful. Garage. How dare I be a human? That's right. Let them eat cake. Well, my darlings, I understand that, okay? I understand that. And to this person I said, you know, I can, looking from the outside in, I can understand exactly where you're coming from, and I apologize if you were offended. I mean never to offend anyone. And I want you to know that this was not, and it wasn't just a little blurb. It was like, hello. And I said, I just want you to know that I mean no harm, and especially no disrespect to John, but I know when it's John. And sometimes John says stuff to make us laugh. And he says, oh no, you don't belong, I don't even have to tell you what he said. And finally I said, I should block you, but I'm going to give you a chance, and you need to stay in your lane, pal, because you don't know who you're messing with. Oh, heck. That lit the fire. And I am not one to engage in that kind of thing. And I'm sitting here thinking, and then it got really nasty. And I thought, okay, I didn't answer, and I just blocked. The next day, I knew. See, that's the problem. Because when you get people like that, How easy is it to open up a YouTube, another Gmail? Nobody knows the difference. Nobody knows who you are. So the next day, oh, I just wanted to let you know that I came into your show last Saturday night and I saw that you were, but it was the same buzzwords, ugly demeanor, blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, oh, look, pal. So I just am like, look, pal, you can fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool mom. Just go take a hike. So it has gotten worse and worse and worse. Well, no, this is after the live. This is like after the video, after the lives, during my videos. I mean, the comments, well, like when everybody comments from a video, and this person was going back and commenting on videos that I had done. Like, so it got to be more and more and more. Well, I have this little thing that I'm capable of looking because of, whatever. I'm capable of finding people's IP's address when they want to do that sort of thing. I found out where they're from. And we will be calling this, and if you're watching out there, the best thing for you to do is just truce, time out, because my next move will be contacting the state's attorney's office. I'm not afraid. You can say whatever you want. I'm not afraid. So just so you know, this was after a show. That was not during a live. It was after the show, and then the comments started coming. And I've got, believe me, I have loaded up YouTube and blocked so many words, but they would say just enough that it would keep out of the, whatever. So the one good thing is that I just don't engage, but I'm not going to sit down back and be a wuss either, because I'm certainly not a wuss. So I just had to say that if anyone was here, because you know what? I mean, people are more disgusting than anything. And maybe that's why I like the paranormal so much, because the paranormal doesn't scare me as much as some of these people walking around highway to the danger zone. Highway to the danger zone. So I had to say that. All is well. It's been quiet. I never want to stir the pot. I certainly don't want to insult anyone, because that's not what it's about. But hello, we have to laugh. How long, my darlings? I've been on here for over a year, right? How are we allowed to laugh? I think so. I think we're allowed to laugh. And believe me, if you don't think that John would be laughing at Hank Brennan, I'm riding in your car, I turn on the radio, and then I get, he has a speech impediment. Oh, I'm thinking, oh, okay, buddy, I get where you're coming from. I wonder if he washes his underwear, if he just turns them inside out and wears them a second day. But anyway, he was so upset that I was saying contracoup and coabulate and all these things. So I'm just going to say it again, because, hey, I'm whitening your car, I keep in my garage. So I had to say that. Okay, my darlings, how about another story? Would you like to hear another story? Oh boy, you should listen. You should hear the thunder out here. Hello. Okay, let's talk about another story. Does anybody have to take a break for a second? What time is it? Oh, I need to ask my son if he needs a sandwich. If you need to take a break, take 5 minutes so you don't miss anything, okay? Take 5 minutes, go get you a drink. Don't, don't go in where any red lights. Yikes. Take a break, take a second, take a breath. I'm going to ask my son if he needs a sandwich. Okay, take a snack break. By the way, because some of these stories are very heavy, so believe me, I am very aware that sometimes we just need to get a piece of pie. One of these days, I'll make my great grandmother's peach pie. It's an open face peach pie. It's the best thing I've ever tasted, and it'll never quite taste like hers, but it was so good. I want to show you my rice jar. Remember the last time I showed you my rice jar? I was filling it. Well, look at this. Look, there's a little fellow peeking out. More rice has been added. More goodies have been added. And listen, we are coming up, and I put out a video today on True Oracle. It is called Subliminal Rare Black Moon, Manifesting Get What You Want. It is published, and okay, hold on a minute. All right, you guys have got me with this. If you ever see me in person, we're going to have to do this. Okay, I'm laughing so hard. By the way, Lady Z, it's pronounced garage. Garage. I have watched her video no less than 150 times. I still cannot do it. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I have seen Auntie Deb's garage video. Okay. So, I put out that video. I want you to all see it. Race to watch it. Play it. Because we are approaching this rare black full moon and new moon aspect. Because it'll be over with by the time we have manifestation Monday, and Saturday night we will be in the middle of it. So get your rice jars, babies. Get everything going, because this is going to be a good one. Garage, and listen to the video. It is like a subliminal video. I've added words on there. You'll know what they are. You can hear. But it's kind of got a black, dark screen. So if you need to play it at night, you can certainly do that. There you are. There you go, Bonnie Lee. There you go. Okay, so let's have another story. In 1814, I took a little trip along with Colonel Jackson down the mighty Mississippi. We took a little bacon and we took a little beans, and we fought the bloody British in the town of New Orleans. Here we are. All right. I listened to it for a while this afternoon. There you go, my darling. It's about an hour. All right. This happened about 4 or 5 years ago. Mutual friends in another state. Known them, actually worked with the gentleman for years and years and years. I asked him if he wanted to eat. He said he didn't know if he felt that good right now to eat or not. Okay. We'll see what happens. So, his wife was a drinker, unfortunately. It's a very sad situation. And they had marital problems. They had problems. And he worked for a particular company and I worked for a company, and sometimes it would just have us. That's okay, my darlings. I'd like to forget about texting sometimes. So sometimes we would have to talk. Well, we lasted friendship. That type of business kind of went out. It was a mortgage business. I worked in subprime. He worked in subprime. That's the way it was. He worked for the lender. I represented buyers and that sort of thing that needed loans. Okay. So she was having some physical problems and was really having like flu, cold things, like, influenza type stuff. And she tried to get into her regular doctor and she could not. And she didn't want to go to the emergency room. So she went to one of those box, they call them the box, medical box places, CVS Pharmacy. I'm going to mention them. And so she saw a nurse practitioner there. Well, instead of getting better, she got worse. And I mean worse. Now, I'm living where I am right now, and I was working on the psychic line with Mrs. Marie, where she was. And so, Doc in a box, thank you very much. So at the end of my shift, I would just kind of lay down on the sofa to just unwind before I would because I knew if I went into the bed, I would be like, zing, zing. So I just would lay down on the sofa. So I get this email from him who says she went to the doc in the box. We thought she was better. She was getting worse. So she finally got into her regular doctor. Her regular doctor took one look at her and said, "You must go to the ER immediately, because if you don't, you're not going to live through the night." Looked at the medication, and the doc in the box place gave her the wrong medication, and there was nothing legally they could do about it because, you had signed the waivers. She gets to, they get an ambulance to come and take her there. She faints on the floor. They get the ambulance there. The ambulance takes her and she flatlines in the hospital. Now, all of this is going on just in a matter of a few hours. She's in this particular hospital and they bring her back, but they had to ventilate her in order to be able to give her this medication to reverse whatever damage that it was doing, because it had really messed with her. She lasted like that for days. And he writes to me and says, "The doctor wants me to pull the plug." And I said, "Have you thought about this?" And he said, "I have." And I said, "I think you need to, because she's not going anywhere. And she's stable right now. So you need to make sure that you're on the right side of your thought process, and maybe even her. You need to, they didn't have any children. She didn't have any children. And families were pretty much gone. And her kidneys and her, everything was failing because she had been a very heavy drinker. And so things were just kind of coming against her. So he wrote to me and I wrote back and I said, "My prayers are with you, that you'll do the right thing according to what is right with you and with her, with no judgment, because God forbid, that's a tough situation to be in. So nothing more was said. I didn't know what he did. So right where I am, in the garage, right where I am right now, I would keep a hall light on because Zelda likes to walk around in the dark for some reason and haunt my own house. And so usually a toe is stubbed or a knee gets knocked on a coffee table, or I trip on the ether cord, or something happens. So I leave this little light on, so if I need to get up, make a trip to the water closet, go to the kitchen, do whatever I need to do, just bringing myself down from the night shift, because, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. And at that point, my shift was from 10 p.m. to 3 a.m. Basically, the bars would close and they would all call the psychic line. I'm here for it. So I'm laying down and I feel myself going to sleep, but I feel like somebody's watching me. And I was just kind of rallying and opened my mind, and she's standing, the wife, is standing in my hallway. And it startled me at first, because very seldom do you ever see a full body apparition, and this is exactly what one looks like, because she had disconnected. And it was very close to what John did. Very. Because she was close to being pronounced, but they were keeping her alive. So she was here. Now, I yelled for my son because she was kind of standing in the hall in front of his door. And always my first thought is, get me to my son, right? Yeah, get me, don't, whatever. And so, I yell for my son. He couldn't hear me. He was in his room working, playing in a tournament or something like he's doing right now. All of a sudden, she gets down on all fours. I mean, it was like, it wasn't this, it wouldn't be like Zelda. Let me creak down. Let me get creaky and creak down and get on all fours. No, it was like stand up, boom. I don't know if you have ever seen this movie. It was with Catherine Zeta-Jones. I think it was House on Haunted Hill. One of these characters would do this jumpy thing, like you're in a strobe, and it would be, I'm telling you, that stuff I can't hack. It was exactly like that. Whoever writes that stuff must see it in real time, because that's exactly what it looked like. It was like jerky movements. And I didn't see John do that. But she comes over to me in a flash. Zip. And I was laying on this side. Hello. And I'm watching all this thinking, I must be dreaming. Hello. What do you do? Because she hated my guts. Just jealous stuff, right? Okay. No reason to. There was no reason to be, because I was not interested. She comes right over to me, right up here into my ear, and she's talking. And I came up off that. I closed my eyes and I came up off of this sofa and I said, okay, I get it. I immediately wrote him an email. It was like 3:30 in the morning. And I said, I know today's the day you're supposed to make a decision, but she does not want to go. I didn't tell him why I knew that, because he didn't really know that part of me. But I know that she was telling me she wasn't ready. I wrote to him and I said, you've got to do everything that you can to not pull the plug. I don't know what it is, but Bonnie, you be well, okay, my darling? Hang in there. Bonnie, you're so funny. So the next afternoon, because I was holding my breath, I thought, oh Lord, if he doesn't see my email. And the next afternoon he writes to me and he said, I almost feel that she came to me last night. Okay. And he said, I decided to go to another hospital. I called another doctor. We had her transported over to this other hospital where they were not going to pull the plug. They gave her something else. They did something more. And they said she should be recovering. And here this hospital that she was in gave up on her. And they just wanted to, they were just not wanting to go the extra mile. And she's alive now. She recovered. She's not really with it. And the doctor told her, if you drink another drink, your liver will be ruined and there's nothing that you can do. You will be gone, because her liver was it was failing, and her kidneys were too. It took her a while to figure out life again, but evidently things are okay. I don't hear from them. I wish them well, but that just was a complete different, Now, can they sue? Well, they went to 3 different lawyers, and each lawyer said, those documents that you sign with those places, they're pretty much tickety boom. And you're not going to get anywhere, because those big box places, they have the lawyer team, they will bury you financially, and they're not even going to settle. They won't even take care of your hospital. They can nothing. She was on disability a little while, but then she went to a Christmas party. I don't know why people are so ugly. She went to a Christmas party. She was having a good time. And somebody turned her in, and they said, well, she was too well to be getting disability, and they took her off her disability. So, I don't know. I don't know. So that I just wanted to share that those things happen. And when I saw John, I didn't realize that video that I made, I think it was Christmas Eve, of John, that video has something like 50,000 views. What? I didn't even know 50,000 people would, no kidding. I'd turn the comments off, I think. But it was like, oh, wow. You did, Mercury Star. You did. No second. You don't have to second guess. You did. It was for other reasons that you did. You're good. You're good. But, this just goes to show on a different plane how that energy can loop and can still communicate. See, that's the part of this whole thing. There's so many mysteries, just like this. Hello. So many mysteries. And yet, Bonnie Lee, you have a wonderful evening, my darling. So many mysteries. We will never. And the one thing that I want you to know about my research, because I do a lot of research. And when you do a lot of research and you know that there are unlimited resources in the universe, that's how you have to realize, that's how you have to approach a research project in my arena, in my thought process. Now, some people may think differently, but I approach things as though that there is an answer somewhere, somehow, some way, and that I have unlimited resources. I just have to find it. And this was one of the reasons that I learned a big lesson 150 years ago when I was a teenager, that you take things really, really serious when you come about. Good question, Diane. Thank you. Does she remember her spirit coming to you? Well, she hadn't really talked to me for a long time. And I ended up telling her husband what had happened. And she's never said anything. Sometimes there's no memory of that, but I could still feel, because when she was whispering in my ear, I could feel my hair moving. Freaked me out, because it just did. Hello. There's the Goodmans. Hello, my darlings. Hello, how are you? Hi, welcome. Let me see here. Let me see. See, there you go, my crime time. You see, I think that the human mind and the human body is such a miraculous thing that it's amazing. It is amazing. Bonnie Lee, I would love to walk through a house like that behind you with somebody. I am intrigued by all that, but everybody around me is so afraid. I love this because I find it to be history. It is history. I would love to do, I would just love to know more about this house. Some of the haunted houses that I went to in Ohio years ago when I was a young girl, they are in the cemeteries. They no longer exist. And some of the Amish people would come in and they would buy them for like a song and renovate them. And there you are. I agree, my crime time. I would just never take the word. Now, I want to share something with you, because some people have asked me, and I don't want to do a card reading on this because it is a very touchy subject as far as I'm concerned. But I do want to address it. That little baby boy that supposedly went missing, much more that had happened, because I believe that child was hurt before something happened to him. And that was so that I just want you to know that. I don't want to do a reading on that one. I decided a long time ago, Madeline Soto, she was, I personally don't feel it's over. There may be someday a charge for the mother, who I believe should be charged. So anyway, there you go. Oh, hi, Jamie. Hello, my darling. Just went through my reading and loved it. Good. Thank you so much for your patience. Hello. Wondering if anyone has heard angel wings flapping. I got to tell you this. My dad and mom got divorced when I was 16. I went with my mom one direction and my sister went with my dad in another. And my dad eventually got an apartment that he stayed in. He was in if he was in that apartment for 30 years. Quite frankly, I'm just going to tell you, he was in that apartment when I went to that house. Now, how long ago was that? So I went to apartment, and my dad just passed away in 2017, and he moved out of that apartment, I think, in 2015 and went to live with my sister. So how long ago was that? Hello. 100 years. He could have paid off a house with what he was staying in that apartment. But he would tell that he would hear crying at night, and he would wake up and there was an angel that would be in the corner of his room, and she would be crying. And I would say, does she say anything? Does she? And he said, she never says anything. She just looks at me and she sits there and cries. I said, well, do you ask her anything? Hello? Because this is the man who always thought I was a ding dong for everything. And he said, no. I said, it doesn't bother you to see an angel sitting in the corner of your room crying in the middle of the bloody night? Hello? No. Okay. After my mother passed away, because they had been divorced, after my mother passed away in 1994, the angel no longer came. That was it. He never saw her again. That's something? That's pretty something. That's something. Yeah. So, and then I have not heard anything about one of the Menendez brothers had a parole hearing today, and I've been looking and I haven't heard anything. Did anyone else live feed jump or stop when Zelda started? Oh, did it? Oh, Angie girl, I don't know, honey. Are so desperate for a man, even if their child is on harm's way. It's shameful, Rose. It's shameful. It is shameful. So I haven't heard anything either, but I'm just going to tell you. I believe that even if they do get paroled, I do not believe that Gavin Newsom will allow it. I think he will step in and nix it, because he has done that before, and I believe that he will do it again. If he gets out of office someday, some way, somehow, maybe they will make it to be paroled. I don't know. When I started talking about the baby, the feed glitch, it doesn't surprise me. It froze first. Yes, had to refresh and skip. Okay, I'm sorry. See, I'll tell you why. That baby's trying to come in, little Emmanuel, and I'm saying no. I won't do it. I don't do the little kid thing, and I just wanted to tell you all, because I have so many people in the comments say, please do a reading, please do a reading. No, I don't do little kids anymore. It's very... Oh, Melissa, maybe. I don't know. I hope so. Mind buffer. Something blocked it to protect. Oh, I don't know. So anyway, my darling, mine has buffed 3 times. Well, based on what I went through in the beginning of this stream, hello, I was almost halfway through this story when I looked at the chat and said, wait a minute, they think that I'm gone. Maybe I decided to cooperate with somebody else. Don't forget to come here Saturday night. We'll be doing some EVPs again. We're gearing up for Halloween time. One of the things that we will be doing, my darlings, we're going to do a Dark Shadows trivia night. Won't that be fun? That'll be a lot of fun. Bonnie, you bless you, my darling. Oh, wait, hold on. I lived in a house with a baby that cried too. Oh, my son was, oh. I know it's horrible. I know that. I know. I love your little profile picture too. Bonnie, hi Bonnie. I love that picture. I love you. And if you come to Massachusetts, meet with Richie. I love you and I want to meet you so bad. I would love to do this. Well, thank you, my darling. Probably what I'm going to do is, I know everybody wants to do a tour with me. Maybe someday, but that one with Richie, I think he has plans with it, and maybe Attorney Mel. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I want to get moved. Don't know when that's going to happen yet. I kind of have an idea, but I'm just kind of sort of taking my time because I don't want to be like, oh, and then bounce and then think, oh, I've made a mistake. Should wait. So I'm going to be. I want to get moved. And I know that Richie is so busy with he's got a lot of little projects that he's doing. So that's going to happen. We're going to do it. And you know what? Give me a second. Zelda, please tell me you got my comment for YouTube watch suggestions. I don't know. What were they? I'm so sorry. I don't know, honey. Yeah, you don't want to flip out. Been lurking. Yes, hit the like button. Please do me that favor, because it helps to get this out. And you know what? We are supposed to have fun. We're not supposed to be. I told my lawyer, John already went through one funeral. I don't want to feel like we're putting him through another one. Now, my lawyer. Hello. Yes, Dark Shadows trivia. Hello, be here. Aloha. We're going to have a lot of fun. That was the very first thing I did when I came to the stream. Aw. You can email me at seeingcrime@gmail.com. seeingcrime@gmail.com. I can't make any promises about anything at all because, there it is. In Texas, are you in Texas house hunting? I love looking at houses. I just want you to know. Now I'm not going to tell you where I live for, we all understand the reasons why, but you will know when I move. You're going to know when I put my office together. You're going to know. You might even see the U-Haul truck that I'm going to be driving down the road, because Captain Jerry is going to come here and help me move the menagerie wherever we decide to go. I know where I'm going, kind of. So we'll work on that. But anyway, there we go. So yes, now Dark Shadows is not. I live in Zeldaville. That's right. And I'm a legend in my own mind. It is not Dark Shadows trivia is not Saturday night. Just so you know, we're not having that Saturday night. We're going to have that in maybe in mid-September, because I'm planning shows now. Okay, so we're going to have a lot of fun. So Saturday Night Live. Isn't that a show already? At 7 p.m. Sunday, True Oracle, 2 p.m. Eastern. That's New York time in the afternoon. I'm going to be reading your cards. That is members only. Members only. And then Monday night is Manifestation Monday. I will be getting all of your vibes for Manifestation Monday. Get your jars ready. Put those out because this weekend is big for moon phase, all kinds of things. Yeah, this is my Sam Miami. She's my girl. So seeingcrime@gmail.com. I got some things to do. Landlord is coming tomorrow to change the locks on the front door. Just wearing out. Just wearing out. That's all it is. No problem. Just wearing out. New one from Home Depot coming. And Rice Jar, if you want to go to the psychic shop, I wrote, it's just a little booklet that explains everything, what to do. See, Sammy? Kiss my rice jar. Make it work. Good work. Good work. And time goes fast when we're together, doesn't it? 2 hours. Interstellar object hurling towards us and already interacting with the sun. Well, my darlings, it ain't a UFO. You know, I'm going to be putting a video out on that. I don't want anybody to get scared because, if you go to some of these platforms and on the X, there's this talkity tick type stuff. Oh my God, they're going to be here in 2 months. They're going to be here in November. And then, oh my gosh, it's 12 miles long. And then there's some ships behind it. And they're not going to stop. Hooey, stop. It's not a UFO. Stop. I don't like that. Could be a UGO. Yeah. But suspect is intellect according to trajectory. Maybe. We'll see. I don't like to take the word of anyone. Anyway, someone asked a question. Let me see here. Let me go up here a minute. Let me see. Let me see. There was a question. Oh, here we are. Little Misfit. I know when I'm moving, need help with the where to end up. There you go. There's a, when is the vampire? The vampire is going to be probably in September, middle September. He is working on his schedules. I'm working on some things, because he's in a completely different time zone. We're going to work on that. And I'm going to definitely give you a lot of notice because that is something you don't want to miss. I'm a guest on his show, so I can probably tell you what's going to happen because he thinks that he's going to be interviewing. Oh, sorry, Sammy. He thinks he's going to be interviewing me, and I think it's going to be I think we're just going to have a conversation, and it's going to be something that I think is going to be fascinating. And I don't want anybody to be scared because he's not that type. Not that type. Here we are. It's all. Does a rice jar have to be out in the air or in your window porch? It can be I don't put mine outside. I don't put mine outside. I keep mine on the windowsill where I know moon rays, sun rays, whatever rays, you don't have to be, there's not really a big, where is the meditation video? It is True Oracle. Let me see if I can find it for you and I'll put it in the chat. How's that? You guys are going to love it. And you can kind of go to sleep with it. It is subliminal. You're going to love it. Let me get the link for you and I'll put it in the chat. And then you can go on over there, tickety boom, and start living the life you want to live. Here we are. I'm going to put it here now, my darlings. Well, we were talking about the rice jar, Linda, but we're kind of morphing. I'm going through the comments, so I'm just kind of morphing through wherever it takes me. But before you go, please do me a favor, like, subscribe, help me get this out, because I'm going to tell you, I am now over 11,600 subs. And what? I'm on my push to 20. And True Oracle, you guys are the best. We're on the next push to 5,000 for that, and we're just going to keep going. We're going to have, I guess I'm just going to live on here. But so glad I was able to find, we've got some things here I need to announce. I don't want to be a dork and not announce it. Somebody said I was a dork the other night and I didn't announce it. And you know what? That is absolutely true. Poor Jerry, I see all her messages. She was texting me like a woman, a house of fire, right? And I saw that and I'm thinking, wait a minute. And I saw I had a missed call and I'm thinking, why is Jerry? Problem solved. Thank you, Sharon, for your very generous Venmo to put toward a Fisher-Price recorder. How fun is that? And I'm going to tell you what else we're going to do. You know, the painting that I saw that I told you about, that we had Monticello, where the lights flicker in the painting. We're going to sit here one night. Be prepared. We're going to sit here one night. It might be later when all the microwaves are down. And I'm going to put a camera. I'm not going to move it. And we're going to watch. And you may be able to see that those lights flicker. It's bizarre, but very cool. It's bizarre, but very cool. Thank you. Thank you. Give me a second here. Okay. USMC Cowgirl, thank you for your service. Hoorah. Thank you, my darling. My brother is a Marine. Thank you very much for your service and your generosity for being here. I'm not making fun of you. I just love it. Thank you so much. So there's a new member. So she's becoming a new member on both channels. Bless you and welcome, welcome, welcome. And thank you again for your service. Miss Jules, there you are, a member for 10 months. Bless you. Thank you for being here. And now we have Weird Debbie. Nothing weird about you, my darling, is a new member. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you. Thank you. You became a member of True Oracle. I'm so happy. So don't forget Sunday. Don't forget Sunday. Any plans for the stream? I do have some plans, my darling. I can't tell you now. Because, you know, during this whole time, plans, showing you psychic snacks, divine dinners, little snacks for that Halloween night where you can just sit and crunch and munch and watch all those Universal scary movies and the Hammer scary movies, you know, Frankenstein, Werewolf, Mummy, hello. My favorite Mummy movie is with Peter Cushing, 1954. Hello. I like the old one too, the original one with Boris Karloff. That was a good one. But I like the old ones. Hold on. But I'm going to give you an idea of what my favorite movie is. Hold on. Here, take a guess. Halloween movie, take a guess. Hello. The werewolf. If ever a man is pure in heart and says his prayers by night, may become a wolf when the wolfbane blooms and the autumn moon is bright. Oh, you guys, listen. Even my son rolls his eyes. The werewolf. That's right. I love it when she goes into the gypsy little wagon and she gets her cards read. She's sitting there looking at her. And it's like, oh my gosh. I wish we could watch movies together on here. We cannot. Copyright. Can't do that. Let me see, my darling. Ladies, can you see if Collier Laundrie's birth father will get parole? His dad unalived his mother when he was 6. I remember this. He testified against his dad 30 years ago. We might look. I actually forgot about that case. So, yeah, thank you. Member for 5 months. I'll reach out to True Oracle. Thank you, my darling. It happened. I remember Collier Landry. I lived in Mansfield, Ohio. I was living there when it happened. And at one time, I wanted to have him on my show. He's a good guy. And what a tragedy. That was a tragedy. Oh, my gosh. He's a good man. He is a good man. Oh, my gosh. Hello? Karen Black. Oh, I'll never forget the time I saw that. Trilogy of Terror. Wasn't that the one where she was driving in the Mercedes and she hits the person and then the ghost is riding in the back seat and he looks at her and goes, "Thanks for the ride, lady." I had a Mercedes. I couldn't hardly drive it at night. Based on that. Hello. I basically live at Universal Studios Hollywood. We are, I love that. We're all the original monster, right? Love that. Lucky. I love it. Thanks for letting us know that. When are we going to meet the vampire? We're working on our schedules. It's probably going to be sometime in September. However, I will definitely let you know at least a week ahead of time so you're there. At least ahead of time. Yes, my darling. I am from that area, so I remember Collier Landry. Poor guy. I feel today is the day his dad may get out. I don't know about that. I don't know. Bonnie Lee, bless you with the super chat. You're so adorable. Thank you so much for your generosity. Thank you. Thank you. He is a beautiful man. And to hear his story, I mean, everything he said just flooded me with memories because I was living there at the time. Horrible. Bless his little heart. It's got to be horrible that he went through it. There, look at this. Miss Roxy D. Bell, member for 11 months. Hasn't been that long. Thanks for keeping it up. Thank you. Thank you. And just remember, for those of you who are gifted memberships, at the end, it's not forever. At the end of 30 days, you got to re-up. You got to re-up. So there you go. What's that movie called, please? Is it Trilogy of Terror? Is that the one you're talking about? Trilogy of Terror. She gets the little Zuni out. Yes. Oh, heck. That was like, we were all watched that thing. Karen Black I think that's what Karen Black really is known for. Think about that. And at the end, I'm not going to tell you, for those of you not seen it, go look at it. Go watch. Never forgot that movie. Thanks for the ride, lady. Right? I'm heading to bed. Good night, my darling. Thank you. Thank you. You be well, honey. We'll see you again Saturday if you can make it. Thank you for the gifted membership. The last show, I appreciate that. You're welcome. Thank you for being here. Easy Rider 2. Yes. Uh-oh. You see this? Shaggy is walking through, and you see Brian. What happened to his show? He was on Brian from LT. I don't know. I don't know. Look at this thing. She's like ready. Hello. My darlings, hang out. I got a little show to show you. Thanks for being here. Much love to you. And thanks for putting up with the stories. I love telling them. I'll see you again very soon. And I'm going to get your prizes out for you tomorrow. Thank you so much for being here and your support, your generosity. I couldn't do it if it weren't for you. And we're going to keep doing it for as long as we can. Let's not, oh, no way. No. I don't even want to mention it. I want you to know this. I am not about that. I look at it this way. I have my own gig. I don't want to be a judge. I don't. Whoever goes on during my live, God bless them. It's not like there's not enough people. However many million are on YouTube. It's what makes the world go around. People channel hop. It's okay. But I'm not going to get in to the drama. I never want to. I never will. And you don't have to. Everybody out there remembers that little, tell me where this is from. In my own little corner, in my own little chair, I can be whoever I want to be. Who can tell me where that's from? In my own little corner, in my own little chair, I can be whoever I want to be. That's Cinderella. Remember, with Leslie Ann Warren? I just thought she was so stunningly beautiful. Hello. No, Leslie Ann Warren. That was a Cinderella. And boy, oh boy, was that ever a great little, that was a great little show. But I got to say this, I love them all. But I have my own show. And as you can see, it's hard for me. I mean, we've got True Oracle, we've got Seeing Crime, we've got Fate and Fortune, we've got Help I'm Haunted, we've got hello, do I not have enough to keep me busy, or do I just need to I just don't want to do that. Thank you so much, my darlings. I wish everybody great. I ain't getting in that. I'm not into drama channel. Hello, right? Look. Thank you. Here's the deals, my darlings. Here's the deal. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. A lot of channels surpass me. Thank God for attorney Melanie Little. Thank God for, sorry, baby fuzz. Hello. Thank God for attorney Melanie Little. Thank God for Laura Alessi, who came on here, who was a beautiful guest. Thank God for the folks from CAB, Calling All Beings. I'm not a part of the in crowd. What's that song? Oh my gosh. Something of the in crowd. And you know what? We're going to keep having. My guests aren't peoples, cups of tea, as in a vampire sometimes. So it is what it is. I recognize that, I know that, and I left, look, this this hello bit, this with this troll, this like that, that stuff is just, I don't care. I just don't want to do it. You're in the in crowd now. Yeah. Yeah. But hello, I'm kind of a variety channel, right? We talk about the news. We talk about, I get real, but my job is not to be here to report the news and the goings on. My job is to make sure that you're entertained and that I'm reading cards. Did you ever, here, you see this? One hair has been tea is overrated. She drinks tea all day long. That's right. Guest or zero guest. Thank you so much, Jack Ack. Thank you. Thanks. Lady Z is on her own crowd, really, and she stays. I have to stay in my own lane because you know what they say about opinions? Everybody's got one. And mine doesn't matter. My opinion doesn't matter. So, Miss Zelda, you're creating a show that others will soon follow. You, my friend, are setting a new trend. I've been called many things, but now I'm a trendsetter. Thank you. Listen, I love to laugh. I am a comedian at heart. I've always felt that my job on earth was to entertain and either make people laugh, or because life is so too serious, because it's over in 0.7 of a second. And we need to enjoy it while we are here, don't you think? I certainly don't want to get into it with people that I don't know. That's not fair. It's not fair for me or fair for them. I don't have an opinion because I don't know. I don't know the details, and I don't need to know the details. I hope everything works out for everyone. I just want to get my door lock changed tomorrow so I don't have to keep knocking the door when I go out to the grocery store and get, you know what I mean? Do we not have enough to keep our minds busy, our mouths closed, and our ears to the ground to make sure that we hear what we're supposed to be hearing? I think so. I think so. Thank you, my darlings. That's what it's all about. And that's why I love to have you here. That's what I love to have you here. My darlings, it's time for me to. Okay? So I got a little outro for you. But in the meantime, I'll be working on your little gifts tomorrow. And thank you for those of you who sent me the gifts. Top shelf for your, I'm telling you, generosity here. You guys are the best. So, just so you know, my darlings, it's all good. I want you to have a happy Friday. Don't think, don't worry. Don't worry. Don't think, don't worry. Don't get involved with things that you don't need to be getting involved with. That's a lesson. It took me a long time to learn. I'll see you again soon, my darlings.
And so, the lantern fades, but the shadows remain. This story may end here, or perhaps it's only just begun. See you soon.